Aloha Kupuna. My name is Fire Inspector Thomas Inouye from the Honolulu Fire Department. Today I'm here to share with you some information regarding smoke alarms and fire extinguishers. So there's many homes or different types of homes that we have in this island. It could be either sprinklered or not. In case that we don't have sprinklered homes, our next step to security for our safety, which could save our lives, is a smoke alarm. So smoke alarms, we require it in every bedroom, in the hallways outside of our bedrooms, and if you have multi-story units, we want them on one on each floor. Placements of these are very important. One of the main questions that we're asked is, do we need to have them in our kitchens? It's not necessary. The reason why is, as we do frying, cooking, a lot of times it'll often set off the alarm, and we try to avoid having that sense of security. Oh, it's just another false alarm. So the importance of a smoke alarm is very important. Once you hear it, especially for kupuna, we want to tell you to get out through your front door as fast as you can safely. If not, then stay in place in your rooms. So we went over the placements of them. What we're going to cover is, what do we do? So with these, so we purchase them and then we install them. The important thing is to make sure it works. So what do? Is we test them every month. So there's going to be a button somewhere on the face of the smoke alarm, and we're going to press them, hold them down for about 3 seconds or so, then it'll go through a cycle. If you can hear the audible noise, then you know that it's working. Some other questions that pop up is, what about if I see this red blinking light? It may be blinking, but sometimes the audible part is not working. So we ask you to test the smoke alarms by pressing the button. So these are for people who can hear it. Some people have difficulty hearing the tone of this alarm. So there's other options that's available. There's a visual one where it'll cause these strobe lights that'll give you a warning. That could be another sign. That's if you're up and you're watching TV, you see the strobe light going off. That could give you a signal that something may be happening. And another option that we have is, while you're sleeping, the smoke alarm in your room will go off. It'll send a signal to this next device that we have available, is a bed shaker. It'll send a signal to this module, and then we place this under your mattress, and it'll vibrate really hard and it'll wake you up. So that's another way that we have to give us a sense of security, waking us up, letting us know if something's happening in our home that we're not aware of. Okay, so another one is, most of these have a battery. We ask that it gets changed out every year. We don't want to let it sit there and 2.5 years later, we hear it going off, beep, beep. That's going to happen 2 o'clock in the morning. You're going to hear it, and you're going to want to whack this thing down and not put it back up. So every year, we'll have a working smoke alarm. Okay, next, we'll go over fire extinguishers. So the first thing I'm going to cover is the different types of extinguishers. So there's 5 different classes. A, which is ordinary. We have paper, wood. B will be fluids or liquids. That'll be your oil and gasoline. And C would be electrical, maybe to your computers or your television. D would be your metals. Those mostly are found in like maybe auto shops. And K, which is kitchen, is more for restaurants. So the reason why there's different ratings is because, let's think about it. If we had a water extinguisher full of water, and then we had oil burning, if we were to shoot that fire out or try to extinguish it, it would spread and cause more fire. And so that's the importance of knowing the different distinguishing agents. The other one is powder, and that's meant to smother, so get rid of the oxygen. So to deal with fire, to extinguish fire, we have to try and think of a triangle. So we need a triangle in order for fire to work. One side will be oxygen, the other side will be fuel, and the other side will be heat. So depending on what's causing it and what our extinguishing agent is, As long as we take away one of those legs, then fire cannot be supported. Okay? The next one is, how do we use it? So I want you, for the kupuna, if fire occurs in your home, the Honolulu Fire Department wants you guys to just get up safely and get out of your unit as safe and quickly as possible. For caregivers, we ask that if you are able to be notified of a fire at the beginning stages, then we ask that you try and put it out if you're willing to using an extinguisher. The acronym that we use is called PASS, P-A-S-S. The first thing we're going to do is P, pull the pin. A, aim the nozzle. S, squeeze the nozzle handle. And then the final S is sweep. So if you think about watering your grass, if you go real quick, are you going to get a good soaking on your grass? Is it going to grow well? No, but if you start from one end and you slowly water it or extinguish the fire, the chances of fires to go out will be great, much greater. Okay, next we're going to go over some quick tips. So for an extinguisher and for an alarm, remember that monthly test I taught you about, or I talked to you about the smoke detector? When civil defense siren goes off once every month, it'll give you a sign or signal also to check your smoke detectors. And it'll also give you a good idea to grab your extinguisher and tilt it. The reason why we want to do that is most of these, there's powder in it. And if we don't shake it every month, it's capable of caking. And when it's come time to use it, then it won't work. Let's see, another thing that people ask us is, how do we get rid of these extinguishers? So because the extinguisher is held under pressure, we ask that you do not dispose of it into the city dumpster. Look up opala.org. They'll give you transfer stations where you can send it and you properly dispose of it. Other things or indications that you can look for that it's time to get rid of is if you see rust, if you see dents, if you see any cracks in the hose, and also there's this sight gauge here. If it's within the red, that means it's time to get rid of. Green, you're still good to go. So I want you to stay tuned for more safety messages from the Honolulu Fire Department. Aloha.